Getting ready. Recording. Yeah, there we go. We are live now. We thought we spent about 5-10 minutes thinking we're recording.
That's right.
So, hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Idaho Joe.
And I'm JWoW, and you are here with us on Planet JWoW in our, what I'm calling our LOL. It's laugh out loud for most people. For me, it's learn out loud. So I'm going to learn out loud with y'all. So LOL with JWoW.
And it's actually LLOL.
LLOL.
Oh, ALOL.
Which
Layla.
is
laugh and learn out loud.
Laugh and learn out loud with JWoW. LOL. That's a hashtag. LOL with JWoW. So actually it'd be Laylol. It would be Laylol since there's one consonant. Okay, so Laylol with JWoW. Love it. Okay. Well, we're here. Hi, folks. Y'all know it's like this. I'm here with Idaho Joe, who is both with us, coming more and more onto Planet, and is also the person who introduced me to StreamYard, which is how it is that you're seeing this in multiple places. I see the notation of who's watching, Joe. Thank you very much. How many are watching? So I'm learning all of this tech. Run, Boomer, run. And I'm bringing Joe here because Joe has lots of irons in the fire. He's running for Congress as a libertarian. He's a major force in the legalizing marijuana movement in Idaho, fucking Idaho, man.
Right.
I can't not, like, I think fucking Idaho whenever I say Idaho. And like, I'm learning to not, because you exist there. It's just that there's been so much bigoted stuff that has come out of, Idaho, and that's mostly what I've seen. So I am very aware of my own bias against certain states in the country, which I'm dealing with. There's some of them that aren't going to change. I'm never going to not be biased against Tennessee. I'm just not. Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama, and Mississippi. I'm sorry, but I'm a Black woman in America, and I know that there's still Black people down there, and there's still Black people getting lynched down there. So, folks want to stay there, they can stay there, right? Laylaw, hashtag Laylaw. Very good. Thank you, Joe. So we're going to have a learning time. And Joe, maybe what I'll do is I'll check before I do these learning sessions and have you come on, and we'll, if we're watching something, we can watch it together. Or, if I'm doing something like this where I'm actually going to go hands on, it'll be really great for us to do this together. So we'll figure it out. Is there anything you want to say right quick, sweetheart? And then I'm going to jump into this on Jasper and talk about Jasper, and then talk about why we're here.
Talk about Jasper, talk about why we're here. I think I'm good at the moment. So moving on.
Fantastic. All right, sweetheart. So Jasper, for those of you who haven't been watching the Planet JWoW videos on Facebook, Jasper is an AI for words. It's not necessarily simply writing words, although it's 90% writing. It's all writing, and what you use it for may not be writing. It may be for a podcast. It may be for a video script. It may be for something like that. And Jasper's read 10% of the internet. So Jasper knows more than, everybody on Facebook, which is now literally the third largest, and has been for a while, the third largest country in the world is Facebook. And there we go. Scribe Tribe present. Hey, sweet one. Isn't that a great hashtag? Really going to nail that. And I'm going to say to you guys, there are things like this where I automatically want to have a quick conversation in Slack afterwards. I love that my tribe is coming here. Hi, Rainey. Hi, Joe. Rainey, did you want to come on the show? That could be fun. Do you want to come on the show, sweetheart? We're just going to be learning this stuff together, and you can learn it from there, or you can come on here and comment and stuff, which would actually be pretty cool. If you want. Joe, are you capable of sending Rainey the invitation link now that you're in here?
Actually, you know what? Yes, I can. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Rainey actually has access to the link in Slack.
Yes.
It's in the threads with me, but we can go ahead.
And
And
then, sweetheart, if you, Rainey, just let us know if you want to come on and hang out while I teach. This will be fun.
And there we go. Rainey now has the link.
Beautiful. Thank you, Joe.
Join us.
Okay, sweet ones. So Jasper, what Jasper does, like I learned something that changed my life in the video that I watched a couple nights ago. There's a movie that I ask everyone who comes to Planet JWoW. There are several books that I ask everyone to read, and then there's several movies that I ask everyone to watch. One of the ones that I ask people to watch who are hardcore coming onto Planet is this movie about McDonald's. Whatever you think about McDonald's, you can be an organic vegan out there. I'm not talking about that, because you can learn something from everybody. It's my granddaddy said. You can learn something from everyone. And if you're not learning something from everyone, there's nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with you. Your relationship with your ego is in the way. As far as I'm concerned, that is absolutely true. And so I'm listening to this guy talk about Jasper and how to use it. And I remember this main part of this movie about McDonald's. McDonald's makes pink slime. It makes nasty food. Okay. It makes cheap food out of food that's left. What most people don't want to admit is that the food at McDonald's is better than the food that slaves existed on for hundreds of years, where they did the back-breaking work on that food. And isn't it fascinating culturally to look at how McDonald's, when there were 2,000 fires in Los Angeles, not a single McDonald's burned, not one, didn't even get singed. There were Black people with a hose and a fire brigade from the pioneer days, the one hose that wasn't burned to the ground in the neighborhood. And they were doing stuff across Avalon, which is 6 lanes in one direction to get, because the fire department was busy. All the fire departments were busy putting out the fires in wealthy and white areas. And so Watts did not have that. And yet, not a single McDonald's anywhere burned, because McDonald's is committed to the communities that they are in. And McDonald's learned something critical about how to have high caliber results in terms of the food that they make and the people that they train. They win awards every year for the caliber of their training. I don't care if you think their food sucks. It keeps people alive. You know, if you think that McDonald's food sucks, you probably have enough money for a $7, $8, $9, $12, $20 burger. If you got a dollar to spend and you want to spend it on food, you can go to McDonald's and get something that will keep you alive for another 3 days. Let's get real about that. McDonald's carries that quality of being able to be there for everyone because they have a secret sauce in their business. Their business secret sauce is that McDonald's is not a food company. Most of you did not know that. I know that because I've been telling everybody this. Nobody knows this. McDonald's is not a food company. McDonald's is a real estate company. McDonald's controls the real estate of every franchise. And if you don't keep the caliber of your stuff up and you don't take care of your community and you don't get good reviews from your community, they shut your ass down. That's why no McDonald's burned. So talking about people who have that kind of commitment to excellence, where they're winning international awards for their training, knowing that about them and knowing that there's this other thing that they are, even while they're writing about food and how to prepare it, that kind of multi-stage, multi-phase thinking about business is what I hope that you guys will bring to what we're learning right here on Jasper. Okay, so Jasper is an AI that up levels all of our writing because Jasper has read 10% of the internet. So I'm going to give an example right here. Oh, fantastic. And comment here as well. Beautiful. She's tuning in from YouTube. So great. Thank you, Rainey. And I love that you got this turned on. So here's what I'm going to do with Jasper. I'm going to start. This is the first time that I've used a document in Jasper. I've been putting stuff, start from scratch, help writing any blog post workflow, create a new document, a blog post workflow. This is exciting. Cool. Okay, I'm going to do it. So I came over to documents. I hit the plus sign. I'm going to click blog post workflow. Describe the content you want to create. So this is what they call a recipe. And they have lots of different recipes, and I'm going to go look at the recipes soon. Right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to create over the course of the next, half hour or so, we're going to create this document. Now, I'll tell you right now, a blog takes me 3 hours to like do the research, then come up out of the research with what I basically want to write about, and then go back and rewrite and hone and all that other stuff. So 3 hours versus how long this takes. So I'm going to go back. All right, so we'll add 10 seconds to it, and I'm starting my chronometer. So somebody tell me to stop this, and we'll see how long it takes. All right, describe the content you want to create. This is the most important step. So I want to create a blog about, let's see, like something that I really want to write and then I'm going to post. I want to talk about racism and sexism in the Will Smith slaps Chris Rock Oscar debacle. Great. That's what I want to write about because I'm actually going to talk about that too. So keywords, we've got Will Smith. We got Oscars. We got racism. We got sexism. Okay. So describe the content you want to create. That's what I want to create. I have 600 words to do. That's all I'm putting. And let's see what Jasper comes up with. Okay. So hit continue. Can y'all hear me well? And tell me if that's a little better. Okay. So write your own title or let Jasper help you generate ideas. Generate ideas. A title for this. Okay. Click generate ideas. So I started with racism and sexism and will start. So there's that. And then it has this one and it says a discussion of something. Let's see. A discussion. Okay, great. Racism, sexism, and Will Smith. Racism, sexism. It's generate more ideas. Okay. It just did the same thing over and over again. All right, you're not showing me to be wonderful, Jasper. I want you to do something else. Nope, it's going to keep doing the same thing. All right, so why is it doing that? Keywords optional. All right, so here's what I'll do. This is 0 of 3. You can only have 3 words. Okay, well, we're going to go with racism and sexism in I'm going to leave this. This is exactly what I would do. There, we're going to do that. And we're not going to save that. All right, so now I don't know how to get back from things. Let's see what happens when I take this out. Nope. So I'm discovering, for example, and if I hit save, what will it say? It will do these and analysis. It must like this a lot. I'm going to go with racism and sexism and Will Smith debacle. Use this one. Write your own intro or let Jasper, all right, you generate ideas. Jasper, let's see what we get. Okay, now this is a hoot because it's not looking at the current thing. It's looking at what this would mean. What is happening at the Oscars? What is going on with the Oscars? This year has been plagued with controversy, has been fraught with controversy from nominations to the actual ceremony. Was when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. All right, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this. Let's take a closer look at what's happening and see if we can get to the bottom of this mess. But many people are saying that this wasn't just about a joke. It was about racism and sexism in Hollywood. What do you think? Actually, I'm going to use this one. That's pretty good. So I'm going to use this one. That's my intro paragraph. Okay, setup is complete. You can always change these values if needed. Open the editor. All right, there's the editor. Now you see up top here, I can do an H1 and H2 and H3, right? For the title, I've got the title turned off. Nope. There we go. Field will now be visible to Jasper. All right, so everything, racism, sexism, tone of voice. All right, so I'm going to do informative for tone of voice, informative, cynical. We're going to go with Marianne Williamson and Howard Stern. Okay. All right. And then keywords are going to be racism, G.I. Jane, sexism, and protect, that won't do it, sexism. All right, language. And the output's going to be, we're going to do medium length, and let's go with that. All right, compose. So it's going to write for me. That's what's going to happen, and it's going to base it on what we've put up here, and then it's going to do whatever's next. So we hit compose, and let's see. Generate next sentence at the cursor position. To be able to deal with sexual, it started with Demi Morris, who was recruited, and she had to deal with sexual discrimination from who was groundbreaking at the time. But it's worth noting that all right, when it gets to this thing and it doesn't complete a sentence, it's got more to say. I'm actually going to make this longer and do compose again. It will pick up where that sentence is and finish writing. Okay, that's a great paragraph for this article. The Oscars, but this year was marred by racism from the nominations, which were all white. They weren't to the actual awards, which went to mostly white men. That's still clear. It's clear how it's long to go when it comes to diversity. Will was just a symptom of that problem. That's not totally true, but I can work with that paragraph. We'll come back to that, and I'll work through it a bit more. Do you think things are getting better or worse? Now, that's not bad as an ending to pull people in. So I'm going to leave that for the moment. And then I'm just going to come up here and go, all right, GAJ to really deal with sexism in the military, started to me more, groundbreaking at the time. So it was released in 1997, 20 years ago. And what are we at? We're at 25 years ago. And this is all I'm changing in the intervening years. Hasn't made a lot of progress when it comes to racism. Has made some progress, and not enough. Has made some progress. This is much easier than writing this from scratch, and not enough. When it comes to racism, sexism, ellipsis, and not enough. In fact, some people say the things that in some specific areas, in some specific areas. Yes?
JWoW.
Yeah.
We're doing a time check right now because it's Wednesday. It is now noon, your time, Eastern Standard Time.
Let me check I love you so much. Let me check my schedule and make sure that I've got time to complete this. I do. Can you stick around, or do you need to go, sweetheart? Because
I do have to go because I do have some family issues that I need to address.
Thank you very much for being with me. I'm going to be here. I'm going to keep doing this. It's going to be fun. Oh, my thing.
Keep doing this. Absolutely. Enjoy. Run with it. Have fun with it. This is fantastic. Matter of fact, while JWoW was doing this, I did my own on the libertarian solution to justice reform.
Okay.
Criminalization.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Whole lot easier than having to look that shit up or make that shit up, right? Okay.
So remember, may your tribes and yourselves find empowerment by, through, with, and in your actions and choices this day.
Thank
Namaste,
you,
my friend.
Idaho Joe, so much. Sweetheart, thank you so much for getting me here and for being with me here. And I will see you Friday.
Friday.
Fantastic. All the best, baby. We'll be in touch on Slack. All right, everybody, we're staying here. I'm going to finish writing this. In the intervening years, Hollywood has made some progress when it comes to racism, and not enough in fact. Some people say the things that actually, that things in some arenas. I keep doing the same thing. Here we go. Alt. Some things that things in some arenas. For those of you who don't know, if you have a PC and you hold down the Alt key and on your number pad, you hit 0151, that gives you a long dash, what's called an M dash. I'm just going to throw little things out for people who are following me and figuring out how I'm starting. I'm actually going to be working on an editorial calendar now that I'm learning about how to do that also from Jasper. It is a wealth of information for how to actually get shit done. All right. So they talk about the G.I. Jane film. The Oscars are supposed to be a celebration of the best that Hollywood has to offer. This year's ceremony, What do you think about that? All right, so the next paragraph I'm going to generate, and then I'm going to generate a different doc and come to this a different way that I learned that I think is actually going to get me more of what I want. And so, and this is great, as you can see. A lot of people would be really happy with this writing the way that, exactly the way that it is, which were mostly white, to the actual awards, which went mostly, and I have to look up whether or not this is true, mostly to white men. It's clear that Hollywood still has a long way to go. Oh, by the way, they don't, if you hit Control I, you can italicize the word. It doesn't have the italics link up here in the controls, and yet it clearly works. So we're going to go with that. It's clear that Hollywood still has a long way to go when it comes to diversity. And Will Smith slap was just a symptom of that problem, and I can talk about that more. Well, that is a giant mistake on audio and saying hi and following. Hey, Michelle. A giant mistake it just made about from the nominations, which were all white. Actually, the way that Jasper works, Jasper read 10% of the entire internet last year. What Jasper was looking for was not current events. What Jasper was looking for were what were the headlines, words, paragraphs, phrases, sentences that got the most engagement with everybody on the planet, like everybody on the internet. That's how it learned what humans actually do. So Jasper, that's why you look and you tweak, you make it, they tell you always fact checked. I'm coming cold at this. I'm literally saying, I want to talk about racism and sexism inside this Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. And Jasper has generated this wonderful content for me to engage with and put more of what I want to say. This is actually just setting it up for an article, because those are the two things that I wanted to say in general. And now I can talk more about what it is that, what my take is. I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to take that stuff that I'm putting in and ask Jasper to rewrite that. Okay, great. Yeah, dude, right? I can say, I hope that, whoa, Michelle, because you're one of the people I want to talk about getting involved with Jasper, because even as long as it's taking, so it's 13 minutes now. I gave myself half an hour to write this article, and it usually would take me this article, I was going to write a blog. A blog would take me, that's why I don't write blogs, because it takes me hours. And in this case, a long ass article would take me 3 or 4 hours, half my day. I'll be done in another 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes with this, which means I can crank out another one, which means I can put aside a day and write enough articles. If I'm only putting up one a week, that's a full-blown article, I can do all of those in one shot. You're doing this afternoon. We need to talk about Jasper, darling. Okay. I would love to be on with you for like 10 minutes to turn you on to Jasper. Okay. For real. So Michelle, DM me please in Facebook, in the messenger, not over at Planet JWoW, and in your special messenger that you get because you're special. And let's set up a quick time. Yeah. Yeah, you're doing this afternoon, anti-Russian hacker. Don't quite know what that means. But let's set up a time, 10, 15 minutes, and you're going to be blown away. I'm not telling you what you'll feel. I just can't imagine not being blown away about saving 4 or 5 hours a day. So there you go. All right. So back to this. It was just a symptom of that problem, that lack of diversity problem. All right. Now, what I gave it for a tone was informative, cynical, Marianne Williamson, and Howard Stern. And this next paragraph that I put in that way, this is close to what I would want to write and how I would want to write it. All right, great. So now I'm going to, so this is great. And I'm realizing why someone did this differently. So I'm actually going to start another one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the points of my article first. Then I'm going to put the points into paragraph by paragraph, put the points into this and figure out what's next. All right, so I've got this document. I'm going to go out of this document by clicking up here. Oh, and by the way, let me show you something. Different mode. So this is focus mode. I'm totally focused on my document. This is power mode up here. This is power mode. Power mode lets me rewrite any of these paragraphs using this information. So the company or product name is going to be me. Company or product name is going to be JWoW. And the product description is article about, oh, this is under that framework. I don't want this framework. You know what I want? I don't want content improver. You see all these are all templates. Okay. And so what I want is I actually want a blog post topic ideas. So I'm going to start back up here and see about those. See what that gets me. A blog post topic ideas. All right. So the company name is going to be JWoW. And the product description is going to be Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. All right, so we're going to do racism and sexism at play when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars in 2020. All right, the audience is going to be, it's going to be, I'm going to put in woke white people. And see what Jasper does with that. And tone of voice is again going to be informative, cynical, Marianne Williamson meets Howard Stern. Train Jasper with example outputs. Okay. English to English. All right. I'm going to do 3 outputs and see what we get for AI content. All right, did it put it at the end? Or did it put it down here? It did. Why woke people need to check their privilege? I'm actually going to get rid of, let's see, bad content. I think I get money back. Yes, that's a bad content. So I actually get 11 credits because it was an 11-word sentence. See, this is a really beautiful key feature of Jasper because you get a certain number of words each month. I think I'm at 30,000 or 50,000 or something like that. I also have a seating place for 10 people and we're all writers. So as people are coming on, those are going to get used up. And while I've asked everyone to do this and I'm training everyone to do this, not everyone is doing this in terms of releasing our words back so that we've got them available to each other. So anyway, so you just saw me do that. Why woke people need to check their privilege? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one because I really like it and copy it to the clipboard. And then I'm going to put it up here as a title. And why wokeness, and then to intersectional privilege is not the sole province of white people. My entitled wokeness to intersectional privilege is not the sole province of white people. And then I'm going to put here, AKA ask Chris Rock about Will Smith. All right. That's a cool title. I never would have thought of that. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to make that. I'm actually going to make this whole thing in H1 because that's going to be the main title. Okay, great. And now I can do a really cool thing because I'm in the mode with Jasper where it shows me all of the templates here on the side. This is fucking brilliant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this title, and there's one that there's a sentence expander, but there's also a perfect headline. And I'm going to take this, copy it, put this in here, put me, JWoW, here. Avatar is activists, social justice, facilitators, and woke white people. We'll make it woke people and see what we get. Tone of voice is, once again, with feeling, informative. This is going to be cynical. Marianne Williamson. And what is this child's name? Howard Stern. All right. And 3 outputs. Let's see if it gives me a better title. Don't be a white person who does social justice. Ask Chris Rock about Will Smith. Get woke without being a jerk. Okay, I really love that. Don't be a white person who thinks they're woke. Learn about intersectionality. Chris Rock. Get woke with JWoW. Activism made easy. Don't be a doofus. Read this book. Learn about intersectionality from a white guy. The truth about wokeness and why it's not just for white people. Okay, I'm digging. All right, so this one's a no. And I like get woke without being a jerk. Where'd the other things go? Oh, no, there was a good one there. Where did it go? All right. Hey, Linda. Pro Freedom Hacker. All right. Well, did it put it somewhere? No. That was a good one. All right. Well, we're going to do it again. All right. Generate AI content. I'm going to do it again, and let's see what we get. Troll's Guide to Intersectional Privilege. So problems. What happens with blacks? The top. How to join about? How do I use my white privilege? That's bad content. I'm going to keep this content and put it here. And I'm going to get rid of this content. I'm going to get rid of this content. Yep. I like the 9 most annoying things about woke people. Yeah, those are not as good as what it did the first time. So none of those. And why Chris Rock isn't Will Smith. Not going to do that. How entitled wokeness is not the sole province of white people. I like that one because I want to deal with that. I've already got that in the title. All right. And a Troll's Guide to Intersectional Privilege. That just tickles me. All right. And not this. God, those first ones were great. Well, one of them was great. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't do informative. Trying something different. I didn't get something that I liked as much. All right. So here's what I want you guys to notice about Jasper. Okay, I need to go, but thank you. Coming back to finish this. Great, Michelle. Take good care. Thank you for being here. I'm loving StreamYard, being able to just talk with people right here in the comments. Okay. So I didn't put informative. I had informative, cynical, Marianne Williamson, and Howard Stern, and that is the closest to me that this has come. So I'm going to note that right here. See, where am I going to note that? Yeah, I'm going to note that right here. So I'm going to do informative, because that's working for a tone of voice for me. Informative, cynical. I did Marianne Williamson because, help me, Jesus, that woman is a complete snowflake. I don't think she's a snowfake. I think she is genuinely that clueless. I think she is legitimately that clueless about race and white privilege. I don't jump her shit. I mean, what's that thing that she does? The Christian thing she does. It's a daily thing. A whole bunch of Christians do it. Makes them feel better. I think about the Bible. But anyway, so she's got that thing, and she's the chick who wrote the great quote from Nelson Mandela. It's always accredited to him because he used it in his speech about, how dare you not be your greatest self. Beautiful speech. She wrote that. Nelson Mandela didn't write that. So she's got some great thoughts, and she's got a big heart. She just needs to not be talking about, as far as I'm concerned, Black people's issues. And it's not that she's white. It's that she's a snowflake who's clueless. There are plenty of white people, obviously, who are phenomenal activists and who are doing amazing and incredible things. Marianne Williamson successfully helped a whole bunch of privileged white folks feel better about themselves and what they think about Black issues. And I'm glad that she did, because, I'm glad that she did that, because they got to feel better about being independent and not have to feel any, guilt or shaming so much, with her in existence. But help me, Jesus, in terms of having something substantive to say about meat issues, not her. So because that's true for me about her, she's perfect for this particular conversation about racism, because she's, clueless. So I want to get that open sense of the notness of her into what's being written here, because then we're explaining to folks who are clueless, who care, who are clueless. Great. And then Howard Stern, because he's an asshole, right? And humor is based in pain, and wit is based in sharp pain. And Howard Stern is made out of pain. He's a pain in the culture's ass. And so I've gone from Marianne Williamson to Howard Stern, to informative to cynical, that would be about kind of my way of being and talking. And, you know, so this is honing in on it. I had Brene Brown and Joe Rogan, and that was also really close, and it was different from this. Okay, so we're doing the title thing again. Let's do that. Get woke with JWoW, how to be woke, why white people need to check their privilege. Yep, not that. Gave me 19 credits, but it didn't give me the other stuff. All right. Well, I'm going to go whole hog and do a big one. And I'm going to do 10 outputs and see what we get. Oh, and let me do this. I'm going to try this and just woke people and see what Jasper does. How to be woke without being a jerk. White people, you're not the center of the universe. All right, see, I'm going to talk about, all right, so this one, I'm going to copy and paste something there. I'm white, so what? The unbearable whiteness of wokeness. Oh, without being an asshole, a survival guide. Okay, I'm loving this so much. So copy and paste this. And then it's not the sole province of white people. If you're wondering why black people think your opinion is, there's a hint. It's because you're white. Okay. And we'll also copy this. All right. And do this. We'll make something out of it. Yep. And make something out of it. And I've learned that I can't click on what about the intersectional privilege and what they don't want you to know. All right. I don't think that's accurate. Yeah. Why entitled woke is not the sole problem. The sixth sense of social justice. If you're white, new perspective on intersectionality and privilege. I don't know. I kind of like that. Let's put that here. And get rid of that. Why woke is not a white people thing. Okay, I'm loving that. All right, so we'll do this. And do that. Getting woke is not a one-night stand. I have a dream that the nation will get woke. Oh my God, some of these are fantastic. All right, and get rid of that. It's not the sole province of why I told him the greatest thing was being born. All right, so get rid of that. The world is not yours to change. Everything wrong with the internet in one word. How to have a woke Thanksgiving with your unwoke family. Oh my God, some of these are just fantastic. I'm going to copy that. Wish I could just copy a single one. But there we go. I'm not going to use most of that. And yep, there we go. Yep, and get rid of that. All right. All right, so we're at 33 minutes, and I've also been talking in between. I'm still feeling really good about this. So now I'm going to get rid of, these are all great. How to be woke without being a jerk. All right, I like that. You white people, you're not the center of the universe. Don't need that. On Will Smith, I'm white. So what? The unbearable whiteness of wokeness. Okay, that's really funny. Intersectionality, the new white supremacy. That's not really true. How to be a woke person without being an asshole, the survival guide. I like that better than how to be woke without being a jerk. I'll just put jerk here. These are fantastic, and I would not have come up with ones that are this much fun. Why entitled wokeness is not the sole province of white people. That's the one that I wrote. There we go. The world is not yours to change. I don't think that that's true. Nor is it applicable to this. A guide to intersectional privilege for white people who know they're white. Wow, that's great. And AI wrote that. That's just brilliant. Why you shouldn't be offended by anything at all anymore, especially if you're white. I don't agree with that. Everything wrong with the internet in one word, empathy. I don't agree with that. How to have woke Thanksgiving with your unwoke family. Okay, I swear to God, and unwoke has now become a thing in my vocabulary. Only way people talk about racism are those who have never been racist. Okay, there's no way to peacefully know that. Getting woke is not a one-night stand. I have a dream that the nation will get woke. That's just cracking me up. The myth of wokeness, how to be an informed white ally. No, really, I like that. So you want to be woke? First, go read this book. Seriously, why woke is not a white people thing. Intersectional privilege and the myth of white supremacy. Truth behind Will Smith's blackness. It's not what you think. 3 reasons why being woke is the new flawless, and other things Chris Rock can't stand about Will Smith. It may not even be true, but that's funny. Chris Rock about Will, the sixth sense of social justice. It's not about social justice. New perspective on intersectionality and privilege. Yeah, that I want. Why black people think your opinion on racism doesn't matter. Here's a hint. It's because you're white. Yep. Ask Chris Rock about Will Smith. Shut down Chris. I'm not even that privileged. What do you think about racism? And do you think things are getting better or worse? Okay, so that's this part. So I have several that I love. I'm going to put them up top and then keep writing. I'm going to put them up above this here and turn that off and do this. So those playing with those together is going to get me a title I believe that I love. So here I am back here, and let's take this paragraph, this first paragraph, and blog post intro paragraph, and I'm going to focus on that again. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to do the blog post intro paragraph and the blog post title, right, your opening paragraph. All right, so I'm going to do the title. And my entitled wokeness is not the sole province of white people. That's what I want to write about. That's what I want to write about. And I'm going to take out this to intersectional privilege. Okay. And I'm going to put this title in and see what it tells me for an opening paragraph and see how that compares. 80 letters right on the nose. I think I've got an extra. There we go. Fantastic. Tone of voice is going to be cynical, funny, informative, Renee Brown, Joe Rogan. Let's see what we get. And let's do 3 paragraphs, opening paragraphs, and see what we get. It's no surprise discussion of the time popular, but Western time and why it's such a big deal. Privilege is what enables people. people, we're not going anywhere. So the next time you see something, I can title, remember, and that's a good thing. All right, that's something to consider. Chris Rock once joked that black people everywhere, that's my entitlement has become a different word. We're taught that we should never expect too much, but what if entitlement, what if instead we saw it as a tool for creating change? Is not the, nope, the disease of privilege. In fact, just as maybe men here and less problem with entitlement as a race-based phenomenon. It's a human-based phenomenon. There we go. Now we're talking. That's what I want to talk about. That's exactly what I want to talk about. That's exactly what I want to talk about. Okay, copy text to clipboard. I'm going to get rid of these other ones because they're not there. That's not what I wanted. Yep. And the current blood, that's not what I wanted either. And now I'm going to put this here. So let's all work. And I'm going to make this small and see if it will, to put an end. And it's going to look at what's up above here. So it's going to look at this paragraph, and this paragraph, and the title and those other topics and generate what's going to end this sentence. Let's all work together to put an end to entitlement, racism. It's the only way we're going to move forward as a nation. Thanks for reading. Okay, so I'm going to leave that sentence. Okay, and then here's the piece about G.I. Jane. And here I want to, what I'm looking for is marketing angles, persuasive bullet points, video title, script hook, review, personalized, cold emails, bio. These are the ones I love. These are the other ones. Poll questions, text summarize, engaging questions, feature to benefit, persuasive bullet points. That's going to pull it out of something that I write. I want it to write something. So there are things that write for you, and there are things that pull information from what you've written. And let's see. Let's go with, that's the intro paragraph. And right here, I'm going to put, because it looks at what's up above, and I'm going to put an end to entitlement, racism, and sexism. Okay, because that's really what we're talking about. Oh, I love it. And I didn't know that that's what I was talking about, entitlement, racism, and sexism. I didn't think to talk about things that way. So now I'm going to do a blog post outline, the title topic, blog post title, blog post outline. No, I want content improver, maybe. Content, I have 600. So I'm going to take this content improver. So I'm learning what it is that I want to work with. And I don't know how many, I don't know how long this is. I'm about to find out. So I'm going to copy this and go here and put it in. Some people say that just as title as anyone else, maybe even more. Let's go with that. I want informative. What am I doing? Informative, cynical, Marianne Williamson, and Howard Stern. And I'm going to put this, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put this I'm going to start. So I'm literally learning this in front of you guys. So I've got, I'm opening up my notepad and I'm putting this in, this tone of voice in, so that I can just pick that up really easily and save it as Jasper. It's slow because of, everything's slow because of, where am I? Whew, I'm in StreamYard. So keep, and this now will become one of the first things I see. That's Jasper tones. Dulcet tones of Jasper. All right, so there we go. So let's see what happens. Tone of voice with what they already wrote. And I'm going to get rid of this and rid of this. This 22 days ago. I started playing with this 22 days ago. I'm just now actually doing things with it. I got overwhelmed and then I did the training. And so everyone that I'm introducing to this, I'm asking people to please do the training first and then come here. All right, so content improver. Let's do that again. So where did I get? Maybe even more so. All right, so we're going to do this way. In the content, do this thing with tone of voice, copy and paste that. And then I may actually start learning my own writing in French and then run it by my friends who speak French and see how close I get. So now I'm going to generate AI content. Again, 3 outputs. I'm not big into having 10 unless I love what's happening. It's been fraught with controversy from nominations to one of the most talked about moments was when Will Smith, what really mattered here. But many people are saying that it wasn't just about jokes. Racism is what really mattered here. Okay, that's fair. And let's do this because it's pretty much what I've got already. Many people were quick to say it's just about a joke and not racism. What is truth right actors? Do they also get based when making jokes at someone else? Of course not. That would be absurd. All right, so I actually want to play with that paragraph. All right, so I'm not going to keep that. This is by calling out someone who did something wrong, but many people are saying that he is showing how important, not just because someone says, which incited, yeah, I don't know what that's about, and not true and weird and go away. All right. So I want to combine these two. So I'm, rather than me figuring out which sentences to keep and what words to change and all of that, I'm going to go right over here and put this in. So the erase. I'm going to take out the what do you think? Making just, it's, that would be absurd. So let's do this. Get a little further. Was fraught with controversy. Will Smith. For cracking a joke about Will's wife. Jada Pinkett Smith. However, this wasn't about joke. It was about entitlement, racism, and sexism in Hollywood. All right, I'm digging this more and more by the moment. When Will slapped Chris Rock, many folks were quick to say that it was just about a joke. Not about entitlement. Not about entitlement, racism, sexism. Entitlement or sexism. Yet, would this be true if a black actor slapped a white woman? Would it be okay or good if a man walked up and slapped a woman on stage? Okay. All right. So this, oh my goodness, this is so much fun. All right. Here we go. I'm going to go with this and let's see what we get. All right. The Will Smith slap heard around the world and was talked about it wasn't just any old controversy. It had everything to do with entitlement racism. When Jada Pinkett Smith had delivered his famous line, "She needs more attention than I do," many people couldn't help but laugh because he knew that was impossible. However, there's some who take issue with all white crew members. All right, so that's just gone. Not true according to me. Okay, I have no idea what that even means. All right, so none of that's true. Okay, let's see what I did or changed. Tone of voice. All right, that tone of voice isn't working now. So, informative, cynical, Marianne Williamson, Howard Stern. Let's do it again and see if we get something better. And if not, then we're going to change the tone of voice. And it's that simple with Jasper. It's like, that's not sounding like me. I want to do something else. For cracking a joke that wasn't just any comments because I was so classes. Okay, don't. This year, thanks to Will Smith. Cracking just by his wife, Jada Pinkett. Nope, that's not true either. Getting off topic for me. Okay, none of those are better than what I've got. So I'm going to take what I've got and see what happens overall, because that came out of this. All right. All right. As a somebody that immune disease of privilege, it's going to be further. This couldn't be. Now, there's another cool thing about this being an AI and not simply an algorithm. So as I make changes and I put them in the final product over time, Jasper is learning how I want things to be written. That's exciting. Okay. Because then Jasper becomes a better support, assistant, facilitator, guide. Entitlement is not a race-based phenomenon. It's human phenomenon. Eradicating regardless of our skill. When we're entitled, we act like jerks, plain and simple. Nobody deserves to be treated like that, no matter what. So that's all. All right, there we go. It didn't. All right, so G.I. Jane. That was fine. What wrote there? The Oscars hard with this. All right, so this actually goes up top as a, there we go, somewhere in here. Let me see what happens when I take these two paragraphs and try and combine them here. All right. Hollywood still has a, Oscars is supposed to be has a long way to go. And I'm just going to put, it's clear by bad behavior, and too many excuses for it. Too many excuses for it and not enough genuine remorse. And not enough genuine remorse. All right. So content improver. All right. I'm going to see what this does to improve this content. And if this doesn't do it, then I'm going to find something else that will take my information and turn it into something else. And this is how I'm learning. So here we go. Generate AI content and see what we get. Not enough. And when just being roasted would seem like an example on and where some people think they're above us because their name has been linked with certain projects or stars before. Okay, so nope, not that. Nope, none of these. All right, Maybe I've got good enough content. I'm going to take a look at another place and see what we can do. Now, what's the PAS framework? Problem, agitate, solution. Creating new marketing copy ideas. Content improver, blog post. Blog post topic ideas. What does that show? That's got the company name and product description. Let's see what happens when I put in these paragraphs. It's clear that this Hollywood has a long way to go. It's clear that the current Hollywood still has a long way to go when it comes to diversiveness, and intersectional awakeness. Of this lack of Will Smith is just a symptom of many vectors of the damage, entitlement, with anyone of any color. And rank. Lots of folks are quick to say it was just about a joke and not about. It was, if a black actor said, would it be okay or good if a man walked up and slapped a woman on stage? Some people think it's people are the xenophobe. All right, so we're going to reverse these. We're going to do da 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 da. And then there's the joke. No one talks about how it was also a compliment. And there's that. Boom. Oh my God. I have 4 juicy paragraphs. It's taken me an hour, and you take away about 20 minutes of yakking and stuff. All right. All right. This is great. All right. So I did this way. And now, with all of what I've said, now I'm going to hit medium for length and see what I get from compose. All right. I'm enjoying that, and I'm going to go long and see what we get. All right, so that's just going off of title and other things. Oh, my product description, that's what it's going by. So what I want to talk about can bring. All right, let's see how long this is. That again. Okay, it took all of it. So we're going to go with there. Blog post topic ideas. I think I'm going to do blog post concluding paragraph. All right, so conclusion paragraph. Let's do this. And call to action. Intersectional allyship. Not condone violence. Not reward entitlement. And that's going to be, where's my note? There's my tone. Do that. And generate AI content. All right. She's asking your prime when it comes to diversity. We need to be aware of these issues, not condone violence and not reward entitlement. Well, there you go. That's one that basically took my ideas and turned it into that single paragraph. Okay. So great. We'll do that. Start this year's, we need to have conversations, intersectionality and allyship. Blatant also, if you see someone say, okay, I love this. So we're going to go with that. Prime example is, all right, and that's not any good. Okay, so that's gone, and yep, all right. So with this, from, my God, I'm actually going to finish this from Chris Crock. Let me just let my person know that I'm going to be a few minutes late because I am going to finish this right here on camera. There we go. 10 thread. 10 minutes late. Great. All right. Let's see. And I'm also loving learning how to use this. This is off the chart. This is for prime example why we need to have conversations. Why it will be good, because I'm going to leave this. It will be amazing when we to have civil conversations about intersectionality, allyship, about intersectionality being empathetically awake and being a good and useful ally. Yeah. Blatant Take out the absolutism of the. Oh, this is also a good way for you guys to see what happens in terms of using leeway. I hadn't thought about that because I will just do it right here. Blatant racism, sexism, and entitlement. All right, blatant racism, sexism, and entitlement, which took over the Oscars narrative. Was appalling, and maybe not for the reasons that titillation heavy media would like to have folks think. Dead black bodies in the street keeps folks glued with hate, hurt, glued with hate, hurt, hopelessness, and or helplessness to the news cycle. And let's face it, live fighting, live black bodies is even better bait for folks who might like to avoid thinking and feeling deeply about what our patriarchy doesn't want us to consider. Issues that our patriarchy doesn't want us to consider. So this, for me, us, ultimately winds up being a cautionary tale. I cannot believe how amazing I feel creatively knowing that this is solid copy and I'm not cranking back to worry about, did I say the thing? Did I include this? What have you? I'm blown away by the sensation of writing with this. Winds up being a cautionary tale. It's this completely puerile and unnecessary controversy is for me, us, ultimately winds up being a cautionary tale in a controversy suit. It's a reminder that there's still a ton, metric ton of work to be done around what it means to be accountable for our integrity and behavior. Now, sentences like this: we cannot continue to allow people in positions of power to get away with this kind of behavior. We don't have shit to say about it until we come together. So it's not about us allowing them to do shit in power. I don't allow people to, grab me in the street or hurt me. That's not an allowing thing. So that kind of language is its own microaggression, something for folks to note. So that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for in here. And I totally hear what they're trying to say, and I'm putting it in my own words, especially this last paragraph. Power, it will be good when privilege stops conferring the power to do wrong and not be held accountable for doing so. Basically, this comes down to if you see something, say something useful. If you see something, no, basically comes down to being willing to speak up, say something, speak up. To speak up when people with power want to silence those of us who want to hold them accountable for behaving in ways our own integrity won't allow us to do. It's out of alignment with what we want and need in our culture, and our speaking up helps us aggregately hold those folks, privileged folks, to their own standards of goodness and greatness that got them to their places of Powerful folks. So yeah. If you see something, say something useful that gets us to hopefully consider how to have kindness prevail over cruelty. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go in later and use this to smooth this out. And in an hour and 20 minutes, with about 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of talking about different things and figuring out how to get here and what have you, not knowing what I'm doing, it took me an hour to write a pretty cool article. So I'm going to read the article from top to bottom, and we're going to see. It's not going to be smooth, and it's a pretty good article. And I'm sure there's some. It's 782 words. That's an article in an hour. I could write 3 articles a day, and if I'm publishing 1 article a week, I've almost written a month of articles in, half a day. Why entitled Wokeness is Not the Sole Province of White People, aka Ask Chris Rock About Will Smith. So what's happening at these Oscars? This year was fraught with controversy thanks to Will Smith. One of the most talked about moments was when Will slapped Chris Rock for cracking a joke about Will's wife, Jada Pinkett. However, this wasn't about a joke. It was about, however, for me, this wasn't about a joke. It was about entitlement, racism, and sexism in Hollywood. It's clear that current Hollywood still has a long way to go when it comes to diversity and intersectional awakeness. And Will Smith's slap was just a symptom of many vectors of the damage in the damage that entitlement with anyone of any color can bring. I also want to make sure that I talk, because I talk later about, anyway, we'll see what it is. Some people seem to think that only white people can be entitled, as if people of color are immune to the disease of privilege, the dis-ease that privilege can become, that privilege often can become. Being absolutist. This couldn't be further from the truth. This couldn't be further from this I'm going to get rid of that. Some people of color immune to the disease that privilege often can become. In fact, people of color can be just as entitled as anyone else, maybe even more so when justifiable righteousness gets perverted when justifiable gets perverted into righteousness, gets weaponized. When justifiable privileges and perks get weaponized into rants and righteousness. Herein lies the problem with entitlement. I'll explain that more. I'll come back to that. Entitlement is not a race-based phenomenon. Bottom line, is that entitlement is not a race-based phenomenon. It's a human-based. It's a human behavior. It's a human. It's a human laziness-based, emotional laziness based phenomenon. And it's something, I would take out the should, it's something we can all contribute, we can all work on eradicating, regardless of our skin color or our melanin count, as I say, melanin count, or any other intersectional line we draw around ourselves. Because newsflash, when we're entitled, we act like jerks. That's simple. Simple. Nobody deserves to be treated badly. Nobody deserves to be treated badly, no matter what they look like or where they come from. Entitlement has people feeling that they have power over others in ways that give them rights. Over others. Like it being okay to slap someone on a stage in front of hundreds of millions. And then there's the joke from Chris Rock. All right, so that's one piece. That's the Will Smith piece. All right, so Will Smith clearly has fallen ill with a bad case of entitlement. Then there's the joke from Chris Rock. No one talks about how it was also a compliment. Most folks keep saying that Jada Pinkett has alopecia, so Chris was cool. This presupposes one, Chris knew this about her. Chris knew this about her, one. Two, he meant the G.I. Jane crack as a deep and thorough insult. This presupposes two things. Knew about her condition, and two, he meant it as a deep and thorough insult. The issue I really have is that there seems to be an assumption that because Chris is in Hollywood, B is Black, and C has worked with Will. He automatically must have known. News flash. One, unless you follow Jada, you don't automatically know jack shit about her. I really don't follow her at all, so you didn't know. And turns out most folks didn't know. Two, flashes. One, unless you follow Jada. There we go. Two, G.I. Jane. G.I. Jane crack. Was also compliment. And there's all the stuff we wrote about G.I. Jane. On her G.I. Jada. Shut that shit up. She's capitalizing on her being bald, and she's a public figure, and it's not, if you don't want people to make cracks about being bald, then wear a wig. And if you're sensitive to it, then don't stick your head out there. And yeah, it needs to be, yes, we're normalizing. Says someone who's been the only bald female for 2 decades. I don't feel a thing for Jada Pinkett Smith. I feel nothing for her. Okay. All this mess, I saw her roll her eyes. She gets to roll her eyes. He made a joke. She's not comfortable with it. Okay. Put your big girl panties on. You're at the Oscars. Okay, that's my take on it. All right, so yeah, it was also a compliment, and then we've got all this stuff from Jasper. Yep, and then 3. taking this in. Time in. What's the third thing? Oh, no, there's only 2 things. All right, great. And there's a third thing, which I'll come to. I'll work backwards on that. And 3. Will Smith was so disingenuous, it made me spiritually nauseous. It did. Like, my respect for him just tanked that night. Disingenuous. He is not a defender of anyone. And folks who use his abusive father as an excuse for his behavior don't know jack shit about what needs to change to stop the cycle of violence that is a part of wills of any abuse victims. And that stop is called stop the violence instead of perpetuating it. We are a Black woman, and I neither want or need Will Smith's pissant, misplaced, useless, arrogant, misogynistic, Neanderthal concept of protection in any way, shape, or form. Arrogant, puerile. It's not just Neanderthal concept. It's for us to imagine that data does and yeah, we could be wrong about that. It may actually be that she's only playing badasses on the screen and isn't actually wrong. I'm just going to say, I would so love to be on that red table where she talks. All right. Okay. That's actually mostly finished. Okay, so it's 1,100 words. Okay, It's 10:55 and I'm so late. I said 10 minutes and it's longer than that. All right. So I've got this now. And, did I go to the wrong place? No, you did not. No. Coming in. Sorry. Late. Lost in Jasper. All right. Here we go. All right, that's a pretty decent article, and I'm going to put that up. And y'all who were here, by the time I finished tweaking it, it took me, I'm going to say, an hour and a half instead of, I can't really say an hour and a half. I'll say an hour and 15 minutes instead of taking me 3 hours or 4 hours. And for something this long, it actually would have been closer to the 4 hours to do, research and thinking and blah, blah, blah. I'm not fast. I just bought myself 3 hours. Okay. You watched me write this. Thank you for being with me. It's an amazing program, Jasper. And I have an affiliate link where if you join through the affiliate link, you'll get extra, through my affiliate link, you'll get extra words. You saw how I got words back. You'll get extra words to have, and I will get credit. They'll actually pay me. So let me get you the affiliate link onto this. And I hope you enjoyed this. I showed you some of how I think in terms of my actual writing on my own, which will let some of you know more about LIWI, the languaging of inclusion, welcome, and empowerment, and how we use it. You're going to be seeing more of this. I'm going to get faster at it and put one up where I blaze through because I figured stuff out. That'll probably be the next one that I do here. This is my first one. And I think that's something I'll do when I'm learning something. I'll show you the first and me working through it for real. And then I'll show you once I get really good at something that I stick with so you can see what it can become. You can talk with me about the thing in the middle. In the meantime, here's a tool, y'all. Here's a phenomenal tool. And if you wind up joining, then you can go over and join Jasper Nation. And I am probably going to have my own Jasper group on my site so that we can talk about how we use LIWI with this and what people are getting in terms of the tones that really work for them and why. All right. So I'm excited about that. I hope that you guys will join Jasper Nation because better writing, more precision in languaging builds us all better bridges and a better world. That's what I believe. So I'm JWoW of Planet JWoW. This is tribe-sourced Human, and this is our legend that we are building together, sweet ones. I'm so joyous about this. Sticking to it. See you guys soon. Bye-bye. Now I just got to go find where my stuff is. Let's see. I'm in Chrome. And there's, I think, StreamYard. Yep. And then I end the broadcast. See you guys. Bye-bye.